Hello and welcome to Mind Over Matter, the show that tackles the issues surrounding our mental health. I'm Joe Wilmot.
And I'm James Thiara. Coming up on today's show, we look at the recent mental health headlines sweeping the nation.
Sian and Dan delve into mindfulness.
Jack Nolan shares his journey with us live on Skype.
We explore the mental health epidemic in the music industry.
And we're treated to a live performance from Sign to Riches. You don't want to miss this.
Welcome to Mind Over Matter. If you want to get in touch with us today, you can go to the usual socials, just search Mind Over Matter. And before we start, we want you to send in your favourite song that just got you through a difficult time in your life. Facebook, Twitter or Instagram us at Mind Over Matter, or email us if you still use email, and we'll have a listen to them at the end of the show.
Right then, let's meet our panellists for this week. First up, we have Dom Nichols from Sign to Riches, mental health advocate Lauren Goodfellow, and our very own Dan Finch. Thank you so much for coming on the show today, guys. How are you all doing? You excited to be here?
Yeah.
Great.
Right then, before we get into it, let's have a look at the mental health headlines that hit the news this week.
Mental health is something we've all become more aware of in the last few years. Some say that young people are facing a mental health epidemic. But just how true is this? Last week, news broke revealing that the number of young people attending A&E with a mental health condition has doubled in the last 5 years. The Department of Health and Social Care revealed that in 2017 to 2018, around 27,000 young people attended A&E with a recorded diagnosis of a psychiatric condition. This has almost doubled since 2013. But just how surprising is this breaking news to young people?
There is an epidemic of mental health here in the UK. I think that many people who have come to university or they've moved out of their homes or they've gone and got a job to try and provide for themselves, it's kind of built up the pressure towards them, and I think that it's kind of affected their behaviour.
Yes, I do think there's an increase in mental health in young people because all the social media that's about nowadays, like you look at it, people are posting their perfect lives and feel pressure to live up to that, I guess.
I think it is a thing that people are beginning to talk about more. At the same time, I know a lot of people who do have mental health issues and stuff, and I think it's getting worse, I think, as people go on. But there is more help available nowadays, so I think it depends really.
But it isn't just children and young people. 69-year-old musician Bruce Springsteen has revealed that he himself has suffered with mental health issues. He's had multiple emotional breakdowns, revealing that he believes he should have been hospitalised for. But this all begs the question, is there really a mental health epidemic? And is anything being done to sort it out?
Some really important headlines from this week there.
So, Lauren, I'm going to start this off with you. Would you say that there is a mental health epidemic currently in the UK?
Oh, completely. Even just in the student population, I've seen so many of my friends, it's something like 1 in 3 people, and especially students, get told that they have a mental health issue every year. It's 1 in 4 in the normal population, so it shows that, especially in students, it's even worse than the normal population.
And would you say that there's not enough which is being done about that then? If it's with students, do you think that there should be schools and other institutions doing more things to help the students out?
I think it should start earlier, but I do think universities are getting better. Now there's going to actually be a centre for mental health in the Northwest universities, and it's going to be a dedicated system where students suffering from mental health problems go there to kind of talk and see what help they can get. And I think that's going to be able to fast track students around the NHS and around private therapy, and it means that they'll get the help that they need quicker.
If any headlines caught your eye this week, we want to know about it. Get in touch with us via the address below.
Now then, mindfulness is a buzzword at the moment when discussing mental health, so our reporter Sian went to see Alicia to find out about her mindfulness journal and how it helped her out.
Hello, I'm here with student Alicia Burko, who's here to talk about how she uses mindfulness journals to help cope with her depression. So we've popped the kettle on, we're having a lovely brew, and we're just going to have a bit of a chat. So Alicia, what exactly is a mindfulness journal?
A mindfulness journal is a journal that people predominantly with depression keep to kind of monitor their mood and their sleeping patterns, eating patterns, any kind of lifestyle to make make that depression kind of overcome it really.
How long have you had the journal for?
I've had mine for about 3.5 months now. It was recommended to me by my mental health doctor after my last very bad depressive episode.
So obviously you've had a depressive episode. How do you find it personally helps with writing this stuff down in a mindfulness journal?
I find helping writing it down, it becomes in a physical form. I can see it, and then if it's like a really bad thought, I can just rip it out and throw it away and I can forget about it.
Is there any kind of last minute guidance or advice that you'd like to give to the viewers?
I think, as my book says, stay happy. If you ever feel like, for days on end you might be feeling a bit depressed or a bit, just sad and you don't know why, speak to people, speak to your family, to your friends, tutors, anyone, and there's always support out there and you're definitely not alone. Mental health is something that's, people are understanding a lot more these days, and I think, this is the first step to kind of staying happy and keeping a good head on your shoulders.
Well, thank you so much for your candour, Alicia. It's been lovely chatting to you. Back to you in the studio.
Massively insightful there. To be honest, I've never even considered the impact that a simple journal can have.
No, me neither. But Dan, I know that you're currently researching into virtual mindness at the minute. So what would you say your take is on a physical journal instead?
Well, it depends if you're better at writing or if you're more like a technical person. I think it's more accessible on a phone. So personally for me, it's better on a phone than necessarily writing stuff.
Mm-hmm. And some people prefer that physical copy, don't they?
They do. You can keep them in in there, easy to just read.
Come back to it another time, sort of thing. So Dom, would you say that you use anything like that to help you with your music, or like with music inspiration for your lyrics or anything?
Yeah, I certainly write ideas down coming from that point of view. Like you say, either through the phone or just writing down, whatever's accessible really. So like you said, can come back to later, I guess.
Any songs in particular that you've got which have taken inspiration from anything? That
definitely When is one that we wrote, and then there's a few others that take inspiration a little bit, but not as much as that one. That one goes a bit deeper into things, I guess.
Yeah.
If you want to start your own mindfulness journal, you can find everything that you need on our website, channel4.com/mind over matter. And next week we'll be continuing our mindfulness journey as Dan delves into the digital world of mindfulness apps.
As always, if you're affected by any of the topics mentioned in today's show, you can get support and advice at channel4.com/help or find the help page on the Mind Over Matter website.
Joining us now via Skype, we have Jack Nolan, one of the UK's youngest mental health empowerment speakers. Jack, hello. Thank you so much for joining us again.
Hi, mate. How's it going? How's it going, guys?
Yeah, very good. Thank you. Very good.
So, Jack, would you mind sharing your incredible story with our viewers briefly?
Yeah, of course. Well, I was in a similar situation to yourselves. I was at university. I was studying as hard as I could to get my grades up to the best that I could be, whilst I was working in the TV industry at the same time, working with people like Amir Khan, Lorraine Keller, and all these celebrities, which was an amazing experience. But I started to go down as I was trying my best to get where I wanted to be in the industry. I was getting loads of pressure I was putting on myself. I felt pressure from outside circumstances as I didn't feel like I was getting the support I needed from like people in university, people who I looked up to. Family relationships was going very bad. Relationships with my girlfriend at the time. I had negative circumstances such as suffering with unknown diagnosed dyslexia, so I had all the odds against me as I was pursuing my dream. So while pursuing my dream to write a book at the same time. So here's a book on the job. I won't do any promos or anything like that. I just want to show you for an illustration. But whilst I was on that journey of decline to pursue my dreams and goals, I just had this massive mental health breakdown and suffered of a psychosis episode. So no one really understood what was going on with me. I went very quiet. And whilst I was in hospital, no one knew where I was. Everyone just thought I went off the radar, which I did, which was true. So I had to rebuild my life from that when I came out of hospital. And any advice what I give to anyone who's going through a similar situation is to stay strong and keep a healthy mentality through listening to like motivational content, lots of self-help, lots of personal development and personal growth. Content is the best way to go out and giving yourself some goals. So my goal was to get my book published when I first came out of hospital.
Yeah, and you got there in the end, and that's incredible. Thank you so much for that, Jack.
Now, we asked you at the start of the show to send in your feel-good songs. We were overwhelmed with responses, but we've only had to pick a few. Emma in Manchester sent in this classic by the 1975.
Georgie from Devon hit the mark with Carrie Underwood before he cheats. And Charlotte sent in a tune that takes me back to the summer. George Ezra with Shotgun. All great choices there. So now, it is no secret that musicians struggle to cope with mental health, and with the recent death of rapper Mac Miller still raw, it was time something was done. Often, musicians are faced with no support, no advocate, no sick leave, and long hours.
This is the reality for many people who work in the music industry. It was out of conversations like this one now that the Wellbeing Helpline was launched by Support Act, which is a free and confidential 24-hour support line for anyone working in the music industry, and it's staffed by professional psychologists. Now, Dom, as a musician, do you think that it's this sort of thing that really, really helps?
Yeah, definitely. I think just any way of getting support or reaching out or talking to someone, it helps in any way. Keeping it all bottled up and things, especially in the music industry, is quite hard because you're interacting with so many people. So.
And what would you say the stigma is surrounding mental health and music? What are your thoughts on that?
Again, I think because you're in social media so much and you're in the spotlight so much, I think it's something that is put in your face. So it's hard to keep quiet but also reach out to people at the same time. So.
Well, it seems like you've made something very good out of it. And Dom, it is now time for you to go and get ready to play us out because your band are waiting for you.
That's unfortunately all we have time for today. A huge thank you to our panellists, Dom Nichols, Lauren Goodfellow, and our reporter, Dan Finch. We hope you guys have enjoyed the show. As always, you can get in touch with more information, and you can also get any more information about any of today's topics in today's show on our website.
Thank you so much for watching and have a great evening. Here to play us out, we have Dom's band Signed to Riches with their new song, When.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
In my head, they need to be scared. Oh, when will it stop? Thoughts on me.